Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the MetsXMFanZone live podcast, home of your New York Mets. We're going to be live in just a few moments. We will, again, be live in a few. Just stay tuned, and we'll be live at 6:10. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the MetsXMFanZone live podcast, home of your New York Mets. If you guys love our shows, please always tweet, like, and subscribe, and to get more of your New York Mets news, you guys can share by going to MetsXMFanZone.org. We're going to be live in just a few moments, so please hold the phone, stay in your seats. If you are eating, we're going to be going live in just a few moments. Again, we'll be live in just a few more moments. We will be coming to you live because we're trying to get on all major platforms tonight. So Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all those. So we'll be live with you at 5 more minutes. So let's give a warm welcome to all of our members. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the MetsXMFanZone live podcast, home of your everything New York Mets. If you guys love our shows, you guys can always tweet, like, and subscribe to get more of your New York Mets news. You can check out our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.org. We talk everything Mets. We have a podcast on our website. We give you guys live streaming uninterrupted 24/7 live coverage. We are going to be giving you analysis of players. I do it every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I don't know why I'm having issues. Well, we go live every Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. and which is our afternoon show, and then our late night show is at 6 p.m. So if you are staying tuned, welcome. So we got a really good topic for today, and I would like to start addressing a little bit more of these topics a little bit more because nobody gives certain players enough credit, and who I say is the guys that really stand up the most is Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos, DJ Stewart, and these guys are not really talked enough. So I really do think that we are going to talk about them in this podcast today. But our hot topic is Francisco Alvarez. So let's get right into it. Let's dive in and talk about your 2024 rookie of the Mets, which was Francisco Alvarez. I think that not only Francisco Alvarez was a really good player. I mean, you could look at all the key points that we see out of Francisco Alvarez, which I would like to pop up on the screen here. I mean, we had top accolades. We had Francisco Alvarez hitting his first home run with the New York Mets. Not only that he was able to get he had a really good first half of the season. I mean, there was a lot of expectations coming out of Francisco Alvarez. You know, coming into a spot where there wasn't enough catching. You know, I look at it this way: the catching was not very. It wasn't there for the Mets in 22, 23, and then in when the Mets brought him up, they knew on what they were seeing out of Francisco Alvarez, where you saw talent out of him, and you knew he was going to be able to get the starts. So could Alvarez very well has that nice presence about him that could be a really elite superstar. So do I think the numbers for Francisco Alvarez really do overmatched? I do. I think that, being called up, he was 4 for 27 with nine strikeouts, no walks, one extra base hit, and a home run. And that was what his start coming up, and a neck high fastball, which is, I think he can't really hit up in the tier, but he has a really good drive there, low at the plate. So I really do like his plate discipline, and you were able to see his plate discipline as it started developing within 2023 season. But also, his defense was also a big key factor also as well. So we'll touch a little bit based on that later on in the broadcast. But, I mean, he's a 21-year-old catcher, and he can be overwhelmingly, especially highly talented of a catcher that we haven't seen in quite a very long time. And I think he could very well be like a replica of a Mike Piazza. However, very differently to be where Mike wasn't a triple guy. We know that Alvarez could very well stretch out to triples at times. His plate discipline has been really good. He was overall ranked 76 in Major League Baseball at stat casting ranking, which I think he was a little bit higher. I know when I was talking to a bunch of colleagues of mine, I think it was in early season that he was ranked, I think like number 56, but they didn't even give him the credit for it. I mean, he has to be able to get the the credit that he deserves, and I really do feel he deserves it. Um, However, on the other hand, he has been outthrown, which I think that could very well be a non-concern. But I do think that Alvarez has a really good plate discipline behind the plate, and he's able to get down. Not like all the other guys that the Mets ended up having in the past. He's able to get down in the dirt a little bit, and he shows on his not only his agileness behind the plate, but he has that really nice plate discipline overall. So, do I think that Alvarez? Um, I do think he has a really nice plate discipline. I want to see a little bit more out of him in 2024 because if you ever noticed in the beginning of the season, he was able to have those good strides when he was able to do so. But which I mean, a lot of everybody can see on what he's done in the field. What he's able to do for this team is give you runs when you need to, give you run production when you need it, uh, get on base when you need to. Not only that, able to give you doubles when you need it, and also when being relied on, he could do it also as well. And which I look at it this way on the DH side, and if the Mets really wanted to somehow DH him in many ways, they can. They could DH him, and because he's a reliable guy coming off the bench too. If he's getting a day off, and you have a catcher behind the plate, so I mean you're able to see his strength because he has a really good bat and plate discipline. So could Alvarez be that guy? I do. I believe that. I believe so. Can he pick it up when you need him to? I believe that also. So perhaps more significantly, I mean, he's able to give you 3-run homers. He's able to give you 2-run homers. I think offensively, as a practical leader, he could. I think he can be a leader also as well. Um, I mean, he was strong in the minors before he even came up. You know, you were able to see what he could do down there, and I I just think that if he gets to be consistent enough, he could very well work out of tight jams when you need that. Um, I mean, defensively, I'm just gonna quote from Todd Seal. Todd Seal goes, he his stuff is on point, and him being behind the plate defensively, I like it, and he's able to work with pitchers. I think what I also look at it too. I think that him working with certain pitchers, brings a lot of confidence to a pitcher. You want to be able to be very confident behind the plate, and you want to be able to tell your pitchers to relax also too. And I really do feel that he has that discipline where he could talk to his pitchers and be very cordial, very confident with them, and you see that with them time and time again. And if you're looking at the footage, I mean, you can see that what he's able to do with being consistent with the pitchers. And again, going by his strength. His strength also gives you a really good position in hitting certain balls, hitting to get certain plays. The power is nothing but amazing out of him. I mean, he's got strength to give you well over 20 home runs. And going to what my perspective is, I think he's going to give a lot of home runs this year. I think he's going to be overall, a key guy. I think the Mets going to rely on him a lot. And do I think he could, get guys at second base? I think he's a little bit more accurate than most, but I really do feel the confidence in him to able to do the job, you know, and getting what he's gotten a couple of walk offs last year, gotten like 2, 3 walk offs. His batting percentage was at 219, almost 219, 230. But in a month of early in the earlier months of April, May, and June, you were able to see what he was able to do there. So once the weather started heating up, you were starting to see a consistent Alvarez, and I just think that too when they were pulling him out of games, and I think that once he started cooling down, then when once pulling him out, I think when they cooled him down, he was super cold. So I mean, once he's on fire, I think you got to stick with him. And I just don't understand why. Listen, I get the day and night game thing, but I mean, a catcher should be out there at least 4 or 5 times a week at max. Getting 2 days off if you want to do that, but uh, I think with Alvarez being consistent enough, I mean, I think he's going to be a lot stronger this year than he was in his rookie year, and I want to see really good numbers coming out of Alvarez. So I think his defense has a lot to say. His defense reminds me of Pudge Rodriguez, very much so. I think Ivan Rodriguez. I mean, he was good in his prime, man. I mean, he was unstoppable. He was able to do what he was able to do. Seeing what Alvarez could do is the same sort of type of catcher that he is, like Pudge was. So, I mean, do I like his consistency? Do I think that his consistency could be very valuable to this club for many, many years? I do. And, and again, looking at the footage, strong as can be, being very consistent. I love his plate discipline. He's able to give you enough consistency to give you hits and runs. And again, going by what you see, I think in 2024, what I want to see out of him coming in a little bit more in the plate. Don't come back so much. Coming into the plate, I think that his consistency could very much work for him if he just gets in just a little bit more to the plate. I think he's good, but he needs to work on it, I feel, a little bit more. And if he does that, I think he's going to have a very good, successful career. First of all, I'd like to take a minute into this podcast. If you guys are enjoying and loving on what you're hearing so far, I want to thank you guys. Welcome for joining us here on MetsXMFanZone Live Podcast. I am Anthony G. We're here to give you guys all of your New York Mets news, and very much so. And I think you guys are hopefully enjoying our content. If you are, share, like, subscribe. You can check out our website for more information at MetsXMFanZone.org. We give you guys live streams uninterrupted, 24/7. We give you no TV providers, no pop-ups, no advertisement. We are hands down the best live streaming service on sports. Sports related, Mets XM Fan Zone is the way. And you take it on the go with you. You can put it on all devices. You can cast it on all devices. And also, when you sign up for a membership, you get spring training for free. We are going to be showing all spring training games throughout the whole entire season for your Metsies. So if you love your Mets and you want to get really nice, reliable live streams without getting a TV provider without advertisements, without annoying pop-ups, and going from free to alternative, I think MetsXMFanZone.org is the way. So if you guys would like to check it out by going to the website at MetsXMFanZone.org. Also, if you guys would like to get any of the merchandising that you see in our shows, or if you hear in our shows today, you guys can check it out on all your social media platforms by going to Amazon, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, going into all the shops, Macari. We give you guys all of your New York Mets gear, half off and always cheaper. So we are the cheapest on the market when it comes to Mets merchandising, and you guys can check it out by going to Mets Exam Fan Zone Shop on all major platforms. Also, we would like to thank our partners in this live stream today, which is SB Authentics. SB Authentics gives you not only consistency of free shipping, but bulk items. If you are a business owner and you're looking to get a supplier, SB Authentics is the way. They give free shipping. They're overnight shipping also as well. They're fast. They're reliable. It is absolutely customizable. And if you would like to get any of your business on the map, or if you need apparel for your business, SB Authentics is the way. And you can check it out by going to sbauthentics.shop, and you can get all of your apparel merchandising and all of your bulk merchandising, the best supplier in New York. You guys can check it out now by going to sbauthentics.shop. Also, we would like to thank you guys for watching here in our show today. We're going to take some questions and answers on our social media platforms. So if you stick tuned to the very end of our show, we will answer any of the questions that you guys might have for us. And now, let's get back to our scheduled program. So, we were talking about Francisco Alvarez because this whole show is dedicated on Alvarez. And what are we going to see going into the 2024 season, I may say? Well, I think Alvarez, again, is one of your guys in this lineup that could be very effective, giving you maybe 24 home runs, maybe 30 home runs this year. I think it's going to be very effective. Why I say that is because the power and consistency of this man. If he could really have a good, successful season, I want to see Alvarez have the consistency. He didn't have too much of consistency. I mean, he did in 23, but it wasn't a large stretch. Once he got cold, he got cold. And does he have the power to go on the left? Does he have a power to go on the right? I think that he could be able to give you a future with the New York Mets. It's what he can do on this team that could really be effective, and I really do think that he could be really good. But I mean, I think having his plate appearance being as a catcher is very important, and he's important to this lineup. And I would like to see him maybe 4 or 5. I know that Pete Alonso is quite up there into the lineup because you got Brandon Nimmo, and you're gonna get Nimmo at first, possibly Marte going second, possibly Pete Alonso going third. Then I would go Alvarez. Bring Alvarez as my number 4 guy because he does have a good pull from the left side. Then after that, I would go with maybe DJ Stewart. So you want to be able to have that consistency in the top of that lineup, your number 6 guy. And then, of course, you got Sterling Marte. So we want to be able to see on what this team could go with lefty and righty. And I think with the lineup has a very good, strong lineup. People are really overlooking on what this team is capable of doing. We got Hauser, we got Severino, we we got Mania, you got Kodai Senga, and then you got really good hitters like an Alvarez, and you've got Jeff McNeil that needs to really come through in 20 and 24. Pete Alonso, that's always been consistent, which Pete Alonso is a free agent at the end of the year. So you got Pete. Then you're going to go on with Brett Beatty. I think Brett Beatty's also going to have a comeback season because I really am very confident in Brett Beatty. I think that he'll come through. I just think that he needs to be confident there at the plate. What the problem is also too with Brett Beatty is that I think he's too far back. He needs to be a little bit up more into the plate, and a little bit up and a little bit out of the plate, I would say. But he needs to be consistent. He wasn't consistent last year. He looked very frustrated at the plate. You saw it. You saw him kind of outreaching a little bit. He needs to lay off sliders. That's the issue that I'm seeing with Brett Beatty. If he lays off the sliders, I think he could very well be effective, hitting wise. Offensively, I think that Brett Beatty needs to work at third base. I don't think they have confidence in him enough to be a good third baseman. I do. I want to see him excel there at third. He's talented. The guy's talented. He could play the field. Let's not rule him out just yet. And, if we could be confident enough to see Brett Beatty, have that confidence, have that consistency there at third base, we know what he could do. He could be very, very effective. And he has that Hojo mentality. So, and plus he's got a really nice swing. And it could be dangerous when effective. So, could it be that Brett Beatty could have that major comeback? I do. I believe so. And I want to see Jeff McNeil have a really good comeback. But no one ever gives credit to the catching. Because we were so focused on third baseman. We were so focused with the outfield, with Marte, what's going on with Marte, which he will be back. He has been playing in the winter. You're going to see him in spring training. Guys, that certain players don't get to talk about. And I think that, I had to talk about Alvarez tonight. Because, again, overlooking players. And I want to see overlooking on Hauser. I want to see people non-overlooking on Jeff McNeil. These are guys that are going to be very effective going into the 24 season. And if they don't get it, if they're not effective, then the Mets know what they need to do. The Mets went out, and in my estimate opinion, I think the Mets had the number B spot in the draft. And also in the offseason. The Mets had a very good spring. I'm not worried about it. I'm sorry, not spring, winter. Had a very good winter. And picking up key guys. They didn't have to go on and get superstars. I'm not worried about superstars. Granted, Snell and Montgomery are two guys that are still out there. However, they're not going to get what they're going to get. Blake Snell's looking to get 9 years. 180, 190? Not going to happen. Jordan Montgomery wants 7 years at 220. I think that's out ridiculous for two pitchers. Do I think they're very good pitchers? Yes. Do I think that they deserve that money? No. Do I think getting a long-term contract is deservable? No. So, I don't think that they deserve it. Not in this franchise. Do I think the Mets are good? Yes. I want to see that pitching be developed. I want to see the bullpen being a little bit more developed also as well. And I want to see our catching and all of our other and all of our other positions do well this year. But we know where the holes were. Outfielding, third base. All the other positions were okay. Maybe second base, maybe second base. We were worried about it because Ronnie Mauricio went out on an injury. So, I mean, if you guys don't know it yet, Ronnie Mauricio went out, got injured. I think it was an Achilles or something like that. But, I mean, now Jeff McNeil needs to step it up. The Mets probably going to use DJ Stewart there too. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I really do think that this team is going to be greater than it be, in my opinion. I want to see what they're going to do in spring training because spring training is right around the corner. So spring training will start on February 26th. That's the very first game. They have majority of them have reported to camp. The only people that haven't reported to camp yet was Jeff McNeil. From what I heard with Alvarez hasn't reported just yet. Pete Alonso reported to spring. Jeff McNeil's down there also as well. Francisco Lindor is down there. So, I mean, we'll get to see what happens. I think spring training is going to be very interesting for the Mets this year. I think this team is going to be very interesting. Expect the unexpected. I think the Mets have what it takes to get into the World Series. And I really do believe that. So, that's my outtake on that. Now, I would like to get into another segment today because, we would like to talk about that on live streams. Now, people were asking me, and I wanted to go ahead and do this. How do I get spring training games? Now, when you sign up to our website, you will get a free trial of spring training games on the website. You can select a plan if you want. However, once the 30 days is over, spring training games, you will be locked into a plan. Now, the membership is lifetime, so you could the pricing never changes on you if you are grandfathered in. What we're doing is spring training. We are going to be doing raffles and giveaways and contests for spring training. If you guys would like to enter into that, you got to be able to share, like, and subscribe to all of our shows. If you guys would like to purchase any of our Mets gear or any merchandising, you guys can check it out in all of our shops. TikTok shop, Instagram shop, Facebook shop, Amazon shop, Mercari shop, you name it. We are all over those platforms. So anything that you see on our show will be into our shop. So just let you guys know on that. Now we do have the 24 London shirts. Now the Mets are going to be playing in London. They're going to be playing against the Philadelphia Phillies in London. And if you guys are going to that, which I will be going to it, I will be doing a live stream for you guys. Hopefully I'll be talking with players. I'm still waiting on the request to get down to the field level. So, I mean, the London experience, I've been to London, so, I mean, I know what London's all about. But I'll tell you guys one thing, though. This is going to be a really cool experience for me because, I think with just doing baseball in general and just being in the atmosphere and watching my Mets team in London, that's going to be super cool. So I think it's going to be fun to see. If you guys would like to get into that giveaway, now let me tell you guys how to enter into that. You have to sign up to the website. Make sure that you lock into one of our memberships. Share, like, subscribe. If you do a first purchase with us, like if you purchase our merchandising with us, that's also another way to enter into our giveaway. We will be doing it throughout the whole entire spring. So each and every game will be live. Now, if you would like to see a live stream on social media, we're going to be doing it once every Friday. So every Friday will be a stream on our social media platforms, and you can get that totally risk-free. But if you would like to support us and share and like and subscribe, please feel free to do so. And you're going to show your support by going to our website at MetsXMFanZone.org. We would like to introduce into our stream today is our 2024 London Ghost Mets shirts. Now, if you guys would like to purchase one of these shirts, we have it in all of our shops. We have them from small all the way up to 2X. All of our merchandising is organic cotton. Now, somebody asked me in our stream yesterday, what's the material on all of your merchandising? We have strictly 100% organic cotton, non-synthetic issues, no ration in any sort of kind with our merchandising. We back 100% of our merchandise, and also whatever that we get from our partners also as well. So you guys will be able to see it into our podcast this season. So I would like to thank you guys for watching. We're going to take some questions, and then we will end our broadcast for today. Now, if you guys would like for me to answer any of your questions on our shows, make sure that you DM me so that way I can answer any questions that you guys have. So that way I can put it onto the podcast. I'll answer them on our shows. And we will go from there. Now, our shows will be only on Friday, where we will take your questions live. We do see all of your questions. Some of them will be posted up on our show. Some of them won't. However, put it in. You could even email us at MetsXMFanZone at gmail.com, and you can submit your questions, and I could answer them live on our broadcast as well. So I wanted to, let you guys know a little on that. So we got a few questions that we're going to answer here up on the show. And then I would like to thank you guys for watching here today. So we got from Brittany, and she was asking on how much would the plans be if I wanted to purchase a plan with you guys at MetsXMFanZone.org. Now, the plans are $6.99. Then we got a $14.99 package, and then we got a $99 package. All of those plans, again, consisted of weekly, monthly, and yearly. And you can put, and it is it's non-geo restricted, so you can take it around the whole entire world with you. You could watch it on all major devices, and you could also live stream them on your TV, tablet, phone, and PCs. And you'll never have to worry about on one device. You could stream them on multiple of devices. And we got a question here from Travis. Travis asked me, who is your pick for 2024? Who do you like and why? Well, my pick for the 2024 season, and a guy I really would like to see that's completely overlooked, is Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil, I find, is a really good hitter. He won the golf tournament, which I love. I love watching the golf tournament. I mean, he did so well. Honestly, he did well there. But I want to see consistency coming out of Jeff McNeil in 24. I mean, he didn't have anything last year. I mean, he started heating up towards the end of the season. He was what? He was 17. He was 17 and 43 with a 2.09 ERA. I want to see consistency out of him. He's not doing it from the left side. His left side is 175. Like, it's not good enough. He needs to stop chasing fat. He needs to stop chasing the slider. That's the problem out of Jeff McNeil. He's the guy I want to see have a big comeback in 24. If we could lay off those balls on the outside, be a little bit more consistent, I do think that he'll definitely do well. And I want to see the run production coming out of him a little bit better. He can do it in 23. He's going to do it in 24. And I think in 22, in 2022, he didn't have it. He had it. I'm sorry, he had it in 22. 23, he didn't have it. So hopefully we get to see on what he's able to do there. So he would be the guy that I would say will be my comeback player of the season. Then we got Rebecca. Rebecca wants to know what pitcher you find that could be overlooked in 2024. Who's the guy that you think that could really step up in the starting rotation? Well, who I think that could really well start in the rotation and kind of Kodai Senga. I think Senga had a great rookie season. I mean, he was 1.7, I think it was 1.72. He was really good last. He was really, really good last year. I want to see him repeat that. He's my guy. That's the guy I definitely are looking forward to. Now, in regards to a comeback pitcher, would be Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz went out on an injury last year. It kind of really put a bummer into the Mets season because they couldn't find anybody. Nobody was doing the job. However, the Mets did re-sign Adam Ottavino. That's his platoon guy. He's your 8-inning guy. I think in the 23 season, there's going to be a lot of guys to be overlooked. Edwin Diaz is going to be the guy I want to be able to see. All eyes are going to be on him in that closing spot. David Robinson, I thought that they should have picked up because he could have been your backup if Edwin Diaz gets days off. So hopefully we get to see what's going on with that. No news on David Robinson just yet. So hopefully we'll hear something maybe before spring training, probably in between there, but we should know a little bit more on David Robinson if he will be able or get signed somewhere. So I will be able to report the news on that. Also, I don't know if you guys heard too, but Travis d'Arnaud, I think it was yesterday or the day before, a kid was asking him a question. Now, I think a lot of people took this interview completely way out of content. From what I heard, that he was kind of like joking in a way. I don't know if I really took that as a joke. I really don't. I don't know if I really took that as a joke. He's like, "Oh, what's the team that you get angry the most with?" And he said the New York Mets. I just don't understand the hatred for the Mets organization. I mean, didn't Steve Cohen do his job? Like, he went out, got players. He went out, did his thing, and just certain guys being troublemakers. Me personally, I just don't understand it. I just don't get the animosity towards this organization. Maybe to prior owners, which was the Wilpons, and there was scum. Let me tell you guys something. I love Steve Cohen. I love him. Great guy. He is family. Awesome guy. What do I think what do I think with the Wilpons? There were money hungry grabbers, didn't care about the organization. Steve Cohen cares about this organization. Uh, I don't know what you could say. There's nothing a bad word about Steve Cohen. Loves this organization. The Mets are going to have a good 2024. The high expectations are for them because you're in New York. New York, you make it here, you make it anywhere. Look at the Knicks. The Knicks are having an 8-game stretch run. Bronson is a superstar. Julius Randle goes out on an injury. Another guy picks up DiVincenzo. So I mean, New York gets a lot of animosity. A lot of people hate New York. Don't understand it, but I get it. I get where people come from because you make it here, you make it anywhere. So, and especially with sports, let's not get it twisted. If it was anything else, I would probably say no. But when it comes to sports and it comes to people loving the sport, you make it here, you make it anywhere. And that goes to singing, that goes to entertainment. I mean, do I think that some things are like completely blown out of proportion? Yeah, but I mean, I know with the Travis Darno thing, I don't know on how to really take that, but I would take it to me a little bit personal, especially on how well the Mets organization is, and especially under the new leadership of Steve Cohen. I very much very classy, and plus I love Alex. I think Alex is such a great person. A lot of people don't know who Alex is. Alex is Alex Cohen, which is Steve Cohen's wife. She just does great things for this team. Great things for the franchise, great things for the stadium. She's looking to redo a lot of things. And, the Mets got a lot of new people, here. So, with David Guess, with David Kress. You got David Stern, which is hands down going to be a really good GM. Expect to see a lot of good things out of him, too. But I think this team overall is going to be okay. So that's my analysis for today's show. We were talking about the man himself, Francisco Alvarez. He is going to be your catcher for 2024. If you guys would like to see Francisco Alvarez and all of your New York Mets, you guys could check out our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.org. We got everything in our show in the sites down below. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors in our shows today, all of our partnerships, and we will see you guys real soon. So hopefully, when spring training comes, we see you into our website and see you guys into our content. Be safe, be well, and let's go Mets.